we're going to do one last example on this work. So it says a sample of students from a sports high school were surveyed on whether they participated in hockey or judo. And here are the results in a two-way table. So we have up the top here in these columns, we have judo and not judo. And in the rows over here, we have hockey and not hockey. Some of the table has been completed. So when you start to fill in a table, make sure you're looking for a row or a column that has one blank spot. Doesn't matter where you start, as long as it's only got one blank spot. Okay, so here, if we've got 128 and 100, we could get the total there and add those up. Just fill in what we're filling in red so you can see you've entered these in. So that's been totaled up down that direction. Okay, now I'm not going to go to this column because there's two blank spaces there, so I'm not going to attempt to do that. I'm not going to attempt to do this because there's two blank spaces. So I'm going to look at the rows. So I could do this row here. We've got 140, and now we're looking for the total. So that would be 140. This row here, we've got one blank space, so we should be able to find that. Now they've given you the total, and they've given you the judo. So we're finding the not judo. So to do that space there, you'll be doing 360, take away the 128, and write down what you get left. And we end up with 232 in that space. Okay, then we can come back to these because now there are only one blank space in these columns. So if we add these two together, we will get the total down the bottom, 272. And then this one at the end, you can either total these two or you can total it crossways. Whichever way you do it, you should end up with 500 being the total number of students in your two-way table. So now we're going to do part B, which is now using the two-way table that you finished to get these probabilities. And as I've said before, if you're having trouble with this, make sure it's completed in a test so that you can use those numbers to continue. Alright, so we're going to find the probability that a student does judo. So if we look over here, here's your judo heading. All these people do judo, and in fact, there's the total number of people that do judo. So we're going to write 228 on the top, and we have a total of 500 students in this. And then we've got to simplify that, and we'll do all of this in a minute. Now, doesn't do judo. So we want the not judo people. So we want the total of not judo people, which is 272. And there are 500 people altogether in the two-way table. And we'll simplify that in a minute. So over here we want, they do judo, but no hockey. So we want them to do judo, but we don't want them to do hockey. So we're going to go judo, not hockey. There's 100 people in that category out of 500. And that one I know will simplify down to 1/5, so we'll write that answer down. Now in part 4, we want them to do hockey and judo. So they're doing both. So hockey and judo, there's 128 of those people out of 500. And we'll simplify that in a minute. And then we want, does hockey or judo? Now remember that or is what you've got to be careful with. So it's hockey or judo or both, don't forget. You will get this wrong if you don't remember that it is or both. So come over here, we want them to do hockey. So we want these people, that's the total of all the hockeys. Or judo or both. Right, so here's the total of the hockeys. And here's the total of the judos. We want all the hockey people. And we want all the judo people. Or both. We've just got to be a bit careful doing it this way though, because we don't want to count those people twice. So I might not do it with that little number there. We want all the hockeys or the people that do judo and not hockey. So we want to add those together. So be careful with that one. So it's hockey all of the hockeys, or they can do judo and no hockey. We've already included the both, so you don't have to worry too much about that in this case. So we're just adding those ones together. 360 plus 100 goes on the top, and 500 on the bottom. And we'll be simplifying that in a moment. Now the last one here, it looks a little bit like this. It says hockey or judo, but not both. Right, so in this one, I'll just get a blue pen instead. We want them to do hockey, but not both, so it's just that one. Or judo, but not both. Okay, so we don't want these people included that do judo and hockey. We don't want them to do both. So they can do hockey and not judo, or they can do judo and not hockey, and they're going to add those two together. So it's 232 plus 100 and 500 on the bottom. So now all we have to do is simplify all our answers, double check we've got the final answers right here. So on the first one, we're pressing our fraction key, don't forget, on these. We're pressing in 228, down arrow 500. That's what we're going to have. Press equals, and there is your answer. So it's 57 over 125. So I'll just simplify these and you can practice them as well while I'm doing this. Okay, this one ends up 68 on 125. This one here is 32 on 125. And this one ends up 23 over 25. Now, when you're doing that one, don't forget that you can still press your fraction key. You can press 360 plus 100 on the top of the fraction like that if you want to. Just go down arrow and press your 500 on the bottom. So as long as it looks like your working line, right? As long as it looks like your working line, then you just press equals and you'll get 23 over 25. Okay, and the last one, we'll just double check that one. And you should end up with this. 83 on 125. Okay, so that's it for today, boys. So you can just practice all these different probability questions. They're going to be jumping around from one thing to another, but it's good revision for your probability. Okay, good luck.